Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 2021 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's see what the tarot has to say. How will Cancer be affected by the December 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. And we have the Sun. So if we have Taurus within our natal chart, this is coming through very powerfully as a root form of our personality. Then we have the Devil, which is Capricorn energy. And we have the Sun again. I love it, double Sun. This is fantastic. It's a double blessing coming forward. But if we have Capricorn energy within our natal chart, this comes through very powerfully in our inner self. We have the Three of Pentacles and the Three of Swords as in our emotional self, the way we emotionally feel things, the way we feel things. And the repeat of the number 3 is saying that divinity is with us, and we're also embracing a creativity and embracing a coming together, and also a coming to realization, a realization that's coming forward. We have the Moon, which represents Pisces energy. But also the moon amplifies the power of this moon. So this moon is going to affect us quite powerfully. And then we have the Ten of Swords and the Star. And the Star is Aquarius energy. So if we have Pisces or Aquarius energy within our natal chart, this comes through very powerfully in our inner self. But the stars and the moon, the night, the sky, the moon itself is going to be very powerful for us. And that just makes sense, Cancer, because we are represented by the moon. We are ruled by the moon in astrology. So that's going to be really quite powerful for us. The full moon is really quite powerful for us. More so, the moon itself is more powerful for us than it is for others. So just be aware of that. Now let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is the Princess of Pentacles. This is earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We need to be mindful of people who don't know what they're talking about when it comes to money, when it comes to wealth and prosperity, thinking that they do, and really, trying to tell us what to do, how to be. Just be aware of this during this time. We then have our chakra energy, angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. We have holistic health, which is one of my absolutely favorite cards. It is the root chakra, but it is the health of us as an individual. It is our health. It is our prosperity. It is our bounty. It's being holistically in tuned to who we are. It's being true to our nature, true to what we desire within our lives. Holistic health is also saying, embracing alternative medicines. It's also embracing vitamins and, taking care of ourselves, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, eating properly. We're going to see that all these things really help us connect with our bodies, our souls, and ourselves. This is also an energy that is telling us connect with the earth, connect with what empowers us and emboldens us, and not what rips us down. So that's going to be very important for us during this time, but just in general. So let's talk about this moon astrologically. On the 18th of December, we have the full moon in Gemini. Now, this is one of the best ways to end 2021. The full moon in Gemini says the energy you need, the answers you need are coming. And so we're having a lot of realizations come our way during this time. This full moon is also astoundingly lucky, meaning that we ourselves are astoundingly lucky. This is because of the strong influence of Jupiter, the strong influence Jupiter has on this moon, and we will have this, mindfulness, this coming together of what we really want, of what we really desire. But also we have to know that this isn't going to be completely smooth sailing, especially since Venus is amplified here for us because Taurus is ruled by Venus. So do be mindful of this. But this is pretty close to being an ideal full moon. Now, the sun opposite the moon is how a full moon always begins, and it lasts for about 2 weeks after the full moon. This always brings our close relationships into focus. We also become very aware of the different directions we are being pulled and have to be very open and honest with ourselves about, what's draining us, how we feel, overwhelmed by certain things. And so just having that conversation with ourselves or with our loved ones is going to be very important. Emotions and intuitions reach their peak during the full moon. Our increased emotional strength and intuition helps us to see what we really need, to focus on what we really need within our lives. It helps us to overcome any challenges. We also are more aware of our subconscious, our understanding, and our will to find, the answers, but also rely on our instincts. It is also a significant end of one cycle and the beginning of another, because the full moon ends the cycle that the new moon begins. So there's a spotlight put on us, and it says, what do we need? What do we need to let go of? How do we need to move forward? Now, the last hours of the North Lunar Node will be in Gemini during this full moon. So Gemini is represented by Mercury. Mercury right now is in Capricorn. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is in Capricorn, which makes the energy of the North Lunar Node much more rational, much more grounded. Capricorn energy is very strong for us. So our communication during this time is going to be very focused around facts, very focused around grounding and practicality and looking at the bigger picture. This means that we will be able to perceive, articulate, and really achieve what it is that we want, and also to set this up and to set up what we want for 2022 as we enter into the year of the angel number 222, the year of new beginnings. Now, emphasis is on us achieving, us succeeding, us moving forward on what we want and what we desire. The full moon is going to be in discord with Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. Pisces energy is in the public arena. We're going to be a bit of a dreamer during this time. Neptune is our spiritual understanding. It is our sixth sense. It is our beliefs, our hopes, and what it is that we want. Neptune will have us looking at things at a higher spiritual level. We're also going to see, this sense of where we want to start, what we're looking for, what we really dream of, where it is that we really want to be, and start to incorporate our dreams into our waking world, into our reality. So that's going to be really important in the public arena. And we're going to see a lot of the setbacks that we thought, wow, like, I don't know why the heck has this happened to me. Now they start to make sense because we're aligning towards our success, towards our prosperity, towards our abundance. Lilith, which is known as the Black Moon, is in Gemini. This makes it so that we believe in something that isn't true. So we just have to be very aware of this. It can be that somebody tells us, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person said this about you. We never got it verified, but we just go off of that. We need to check the facts before we act. So just be aware of this. Wait until the 20th of December or, around that time. Well, around that time, the 20th of December, the 21st, to act, because we'll see that the influence of Lilith isn't as strong, then it starts to really dissipate. The full moon trine Jupiter is also happening, and this is a very positive, very powerful thing. This brings positivity, it brings good luck, it brings wealth, it brings abundance and happiness. We will have the ability to grow spiritually and personally that will lead us to a healthier, happier, and wiser state of being. We don't feel as alone when this alignment comes in, like with this alignment, because it is easier for us to share our feelings. It is easier for us to find greater rewards in our relationships, and also to be more social. So we will be open and honest with our goals and what we are looking for in our lives. We will also benefit from our personal lives and in our business lives from this openness, from this connection, from this honesty of what we want. We just have to be mindful of people with lower energy vibrations, because they will use our openness kind of against us and want to sabotage us, want to cheat us out of our success. But this is a wonderful moon for, goodwill and generosity. It's a wonderful moon for this holiday season. We also have the full moon quincus Venus. Now, Venus energy comes through very powerfully here at our root, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus goes into retrograde 6 hours after the full moon on the 19th of December. I think the full moon's reaches its apex at 11:35 or around that time on the 18th of December. So just being aware of this. Now, this can make things tricky as Venus goes into retrograde, but what is wonderful is that the powerful energy of Jupiter is much stronger here than Venus is. The alignment is much stronger, and Jupiter is one of the most positive planets. So what we're going to find is that things can be smoothed over rather easily, but, the Venus retrograde and, troubles around the heart do come up. We are also going to see that the full moon is quincus Venus. The full moon quincus Venus increases our need for love and affection. Things will be a little bit tricky in relationships that aren't balanced. So if our relationships aren't balanced, this causes us either to feel, taken advantage of or smothered by the other person. And we really need to address this. This is also a time to act, but to act on what we need, but to step back and not make any rash decisions, to look at our hearts, to look at our desires, to look at what we love, and ask ourselves, how do I love myself? Are we putting up with things that we shouldn't be putting up with, and why are we doing so? Even if it's not in romantic relationships, what do we need to ask ourselves to release, hurts and pains and disappointments? What do we need to ask ourselves to start to free ourselves? The full moon is also going to be quincus Pluto. This alignment can increase the imbalance in our relationships. It can also make us get really real with ourselves really fast. It's almost like I'm not lying to myself anymore. I'm not playing these games anymore. I need to see what I want. I need to go after what I want. And this is the time that we're going to be doing this. We also need to share our feelings with somebody that we trust, either a friend, a family member, a therapist, or a spiritual advisor, somebody that we can put our trust in, who can listen to us and help us, guide out our own messes. We can also journal if that's something that we find solace in. This way, we can avoid a crisis from building up within us, because we've, expelled a lot of things that just didn't need to be weighing heavily on our hearts. Venus is conjunct Pluto. This makes us in love with the idea of being in love. So we have to be very mindful about this. We will want to increase our love and affection in our lives, but we need to make sure that we're not swept off our feet by lust. So just making sure that we're hearing what we really want, we're understanding our vulnerability towards love, towards, people saying the right things at the right time, and making sure that there's follow through to it. The fixed star Betelgeuse is located in the constellation of Orion, and it has a powerful role to play during this time. This brings mental honor, this brings promotion, this brings wealth, but it will also reveal immense strength. And the question is, what will we use that strength for? And as it reveals this strength, it might not necessarily do so in the nicest of ways. This is also known as the workaholic star. It's because nothing is done in half. So we're going to be either all in or not at all. This alignment with the moon, all right? This star's alignment with the moon makes us swift-minded, it makes us strong-willed, it makes us rebellious, it makes us restless, and if we feel controlled, it also makes us want to go against authority figures. We kind of want to do our own thing and embrace our own self. This can bring great power, great honor, and great wealth. The constellation of Orion brings us strength, it brings us dignity, it brings us self-confidence. It also brings us inconsistency, arrogance, violence, impatience, and also success in trade, especially overseas. So we don't really want to really embrace the inconsistency, the arrogance, the violence, or the impiety, or the impatience. What we're going to need to see here is that it will come forward. So we just need to be ready for it and address it. We then have the fixed star Polaris, which is located within the constellation of Ursa Minor. Now, this is not as positive as Betelgeuse. It can cause sickness, it can cause trouble, it can cause loss of fortune, it can cause disgrace. It is also a star that makes legal and inheritance issues get a little iffy. It can get evil attention. We can get evil intention under these stars, under this star, under Polaris, especially when it comes to legal issues. So just be mindful of this. I know that sounds scary, but it's just negative energy coming forward. This star can also guide us. This star actually does guide us to what we need to look at and what we need to fix. So why all these things come up, it's like tapping us on the shoulder before something big happens. It's like, pay attention to this. Now, astrologically speaking, the bears, Ursa Major and Ursa Minor, were said to be evil influences, especially in regards to nations and kings. So what I really see here is that Polaris may have a much bigger effect on nations than it does on the individual. Now, yes, it can trickle down, but I'm really seeing here that this is a tap on the shoulder of rulers, of nations, of people in power. And if they don't listen to it, there's going to be a bigger tap on a shoulder that may come like a hit upon the head. So just be mindful of that during this time. We have here the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is a sense of tradition. It is a sense of prosperity. It is a sense of abundance. It's also astoundingly powerful. One of the most powerful people cards in the whole entire tarot, because it represents the Pope. And the Pope in medieval times was the person who could tell emperors and empresses, kings and queens what to do. And they would listen. So here there is tremendous power coming forward, but it's asking us, what is our tradition? What is it that we value? What is it that we want? What is it that we need? How is it that we're moving forward? What is it that if we turn away from, as part of our inner self, we turn away from who we are? And that brings us to the sun. That brings us to illumination of the happiest card in the whole entire tarot deck. It brings us prosperity and success and bounty and abundance, but it can also bring people who want to take us by eyes, who don't respect our abundance or see our abundance and say, that's what I want. And it's so nice that you already have it because you have it wrapped up in such a nice little package. Now I'm going to take it. Now it's going to be mine. So just be mindful of this. They're also going to want to make us not shine as brightly, not be as exuberant as we are during this time. Don't let anybody extinguish your light. The Devil comes in. Here we're looking at chains. We're looking at, alluring things that have led us in one direction when we should have been going in another. This could be addictions. This is doubts and fears. What we're looking at are the chains that are binding us. It can be the expectations of ourselves. This is the way my life should go. This is exactly what it should be. And yet we might not be there yet. We have to be kinder to ourselves. This can also be the expectation of society. This is what success looks like. This is what happiness looks like. If you deviate from this sketch, you deviate from reality, or you deviate from what really is successful. And we're going to be seeing here that that's just not the case at all. So with Capricorn energy coming in, it really does help ground us, especially within our words, within what we desire, within what we want. But we also have to understand here, Cancer, is that our sister sign is Capricorn. So as sisters, if we have sisters, we definitely know that sisters can build you up like nobody else, but they can also rip you down like nobody else. It's how we manage this energy. So when we feel chained to something, when we feel confined by something, it can really be devastating. It's going to be that we have to say, what I want, what I desire, have to look at the hurts and the pains of things holding us back and say, this is not my reality, or this is not what I'm taking on anymore or putting up with anymore. And it brings us to the sun. It brings us to a radiance and a beauty and a brilliance that gets to move us forward. It brings us to a passion and a discovery. And there really is the sense of people wanting to say, you can't shine. Cancer, nobody can take away our brilliance from us unless we let them. Shine brightly, shine exuberantly, be exactly who you need to be. Embrace, express what you desire. Because what we have here at the heart is us guarding our money. That's going to be important, but also building warmth and prosperity around us, creating a shelter from the cold, creating a barrier from the cold. We are looking at our dreams. They're going to bring us a lot of information. We're looking at our bounty and our abundance. We're having a lot of knowledge coming our way that we're able to take on, that we're able to see, and we're seeing ourselves move forward towards more than we expected, more than we thought we wanted in our lives or needed in our lives. And this is going to be a time where we also honor the transformation and the evolution of ourselves, of the way that we're moving forward, of what it is that we desire, of where it is that we need to be. The evolution is the child, the adult, and the wisdom that we become as we grow, as we age. And it brings us to the Three of Swords as we're protecting our prosperity, as we're knowing that things are a group effort, and also a group effort of our evolution of self. We have the Three of Swords come in, which is saying, name the wounds. Name the wounds that have held us back. Name the wounds that have kept us, beaten down. Name the wounds that have gone in and have scarred us and made us thought that we could not. We could not be the person that we wanted to be. We could not embrace the success that we needed and wanted and, deserved within our lives. And so the Three of Swords comes and it says, look at what holds you back. Look at what denies you. Look at the pain that it has caused you, and pull out that sword. Sever those ties. And don't let the pain be the reality. Don't let the hurt and the despair and the despondency be the reality that we embrace and live in. Enough is enough. And as we pull out the sword, yes, it will be painful, but what it will also be is it will be a release. Now that wound gets to heal. Name it, see it, hold power over it, because you have taken away the mystery, the mystique, the hurt, the living wound of it. So just be mindful of that. And it moves us then to the moon. When we release that pain, we're going to be facing a lot of fears that have held us back, that have kept us small, that, we think, wow, this is reality, this fear, this hurt, this denial. And what we're needing to see here is that this moon holds so much power. Just because we don't see things clearly, or just because it isn't illuminated like the sun illuminates the world, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. Actually, Cancer, if we fully embrace the power of the moon, if we fully stand in the power of its ebb and its flow and its, it's kind of like death and rebirth, we will see the power of us come forward. We will see the change within us. We will see the instincts within us. We can also really align ourselves with the moon and see the way that it embodies, see the, waxing, waning, full new moon defines our emotions, defines our reality quite intensely. And this becomes powerful for us. And it leads us to the Ten of Swords. It also has us revealing so much about ourselves, so much of the fear that holds us back, so much of the passion that we need to move forward in. And it brings the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is the darkness before the dawn. The Ten of Swords is having to see so much, having to understand so much, and looking at the decade of the swords being stabbed in our backs, looking at every single year where we have learned something more, where we have been pushed out of our comfort zone, where we have thought, what the heck is this? I'm doing my best. I'm a good person. Why is this happening? And now we're starting to see those wounds being the weapons that we use, the knowledge that we have to stand stronger within our world, to stand stronger within our reality, to say, this is what I want. This is the conviction that I have. This isn't my first rodeo. I know what to expect. I know who I am. I know what I'm going after. And it brings us to the star. It brings us to the heavens, the moon and the stars, showing us so much. And it brings us to our dreams. It brings us to what we desire, because we're not being held down. We're not being kept silent. We're not being held back. And it just transforms who we are in such a profound way that we don't even realize. We don't even realize the dreams that are coming forward. This is Spirit giving us not necessarily what we need, but not necessarily what we want, but it's bringing us what we need within our souls, what we need within ourselves, the things that change the game. And as it comes forward, we are empowered and we are emboldened. Now let's look at what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. At our root, we have the South Lunar Node. Don't let the past hold you back, which is so important here, especially for us, Cancer, and new beginnings. Don't let the past hold you back. By the time we get to the new moon, this is the new moon right here, we're going to be walking through that portal. We're going to be walking into something so much more than we thought we would be experiencing. And the new moon is either on, I think it's on the 2nd of January. And what we're going to be seeing is power and intensity, and the fact that we've shed so much of the past, so much of the hurt and the pain and the disappointment and the scars that had defined us. It's like, I can't because my 3rd grade teacher said I couldn't. I can't because my parent never believed in me or belittled me or said that I couldn't. And now it's like, no, I can. I can't because my lover when I was 16 years old, or, however old we want to be, said that I wasn't enough. And now I'm really starting to see that I am. And it moves us to our public arena self. And it says, look at, not our public arena self, our inner self. And it says, look at the bigger picture. Look at the void. Look at the bigger picture. Look at the darkness that is around us as we take aim, as we go after, as we look at and see what it is that we need. It brings us to our emotional self. And it says, you are close to achieving your goals. Resistance. You have resisted being crushed down. Okay, the resistance of the 3 of Swords, the heartbreak, the pain, the disappointment, the chaos, the hurt. It brings us to our public arena self, and it says, what do you need to release? Because once you release it, you grow and you become so much more than you imagined. Our subconscious lunar message is the new moon. A new start is coming. Fear. But what do we fear from that new start? What do we fear from the angel year of 222? The new beginnings. What is holding us back? It's time to say, I'm not that scared person hiding away. I am that person standing in the midst of the murder of crows, in the midst of the extraordinary, of the freedom, of the becoming. And I am so much more than I ever expected. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And it's the King of Cups. It's being mindful of getting in our own way. We're represented by the cups in the minor arcana. We're represented by the chariot in the major arcana. We can have a tendency, quite literally, Cancer, to get in our own way, to stay firmly planted in ideas and ways of being that aren't ours, but also to be emotionally manipulated by others whose voice seems to be louder and more important than our own. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, and this is inspiration. This is the sacral chakra. We are seeing ourselves inspired. We are seeing ourselves embracing a new dawn around our creativity, around our sensuality, also around the trauma drama that we hold in our lives from this life and from past lives, the pain that we hold that has defined us. And it's like, no, we have double sun here. We have the sun showing up at our root, in our inner self. We are transformed. We are brilliant. And that brilliance gets to shine within our life. Nobody gets to take it away. And again, we have the sun rising. Nobody gets to take that away from us. It moves us to our subconscious rooted self. And it's the Wheel of Fortune. It's the angels unraveling so much of the mess of our lives. It is the taking away of the pain and the hurt, not completely, but a sense of, unraveling the knot and having us being able to work through that time, having us being able to work through that energy. Now we're able to see we're entering into a new day, and we can feel as the knots are untied, we can feel everything going topsy-turvy. We can feel things moving in a direction that we might not necessarily have wanted or thought of. And now we're starting to say, wow, but that was a really good thing. And it brings us to our subconscious inner self. And that's the Five of Cups. We change our mind and we change our whole entire lives. It's instead of focusing on the negative, because there's always going to be enough negative to drown us in. There's always going to be. But we turn to the positive and we say, I look at this. I build this within my life. I build this within myself. And it moves us to our subconscious emotional self. And it's the King of Cups. So as much as we have to be mindful of being our own worst enemy, at our heart, we are the rulers of our heart. We are the rulers of our emotion. I mean, that is what the King of Cups is. That's his domain. And that's our domain as a water sign energy, as being represented by the cups in the minor arcana. Cancer, we are powerful. We are rising above the chaos. We are embracing the healing energy. And we are transformed. And we are transforming the world around us. It brings us to our subconscious public arena self. And it's the Death card. It's Scorpio energy. It's the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. It is a sense of I am changing. And I might have to mourn that change. I might not always like the way that I'm changing or the transformations that I have to go to become the person that I was born to be, that I need to be within my life. But I am embracing the evolution of myself. This is the phoenix rising from the ashes. This is that darkness before the dawn, the Ten of Pentacles that we have here, coming through but in major arcana form. The sense of all the hurt and all the pain and all the destruction that we have been through, being seen, being realized, and being released. And saying, this is not my world and my reality. Pain is not what I was meant to live in my whole entire life. I am transformed and I am powerful. All right, Cancer. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this full moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Cancer, and may you have a blessed moon.